Determine the equations of the medians of a triangle formed by the lines x plus y minus 6 equals to 0, x minus 3y minus 2 equals to 0, and 5x minus 3y plus 2 equals to 0. Okay, let us begin. So first what we'll do, we are going to consider three lines whose equations are already given to us. So here we have three lines L1, L2 and L3 whose equations are known. So let us suppose that the lines L1 and L2 intersect at the point A. Then we have the line L2 and L3, it intersects at the point B, and then we have the line L1 and L3, let's say it intersects at the point C. Now clearly these intersection of these lines along with each other are forming the triangle ABC. Now our goal will be to determine the equation of the medians. So that means if we consider D as the midpoint of BC, E is the midpoint of CA, and F is the midpoint of AB, then we need to find out the equation of the medians AD, BE and CF. Okay, we're going to go step by step. Now to find out the equation of the medians, what we need here is the coordinates of A, B and C. Now to find out the coordinates of A, all we have to do is solve the equation for the line given for line L1 and L2. When we solve these two equations, we are going to get the x and y value, and that is going to be the coordinates of point A. Similarly, to find out the coordinates of point B, we'll need to solve the equation for line L2 and L3. And to find out C, we will solve the equation L3 and L1. Okay, let's begin by first finding out the coordinates of point A. So we're going to take the help of L1 and L2. So here we're going to use the law of series to find out the values of x and y. So let's start with the equation for L1. We'll start with the coefficient of y. So that is -3. Then we move on to the next term, which is the constant term. That will be -2. We come back to the first term, which is x, its coefficient, that's going to be 1, and then we end up with the coefficient of the second term, so that's -3. So we do the same thing to the line L2. So we'll start with the coefficient of the second term in the equation, which is y, that is going to give us 1. Then the next term is the constant term, value -6. Come back to the first term, which is x, its coefficient is going to be 1, and then we're going to end up with the coefficient of the second term, that's 1. So here we have x, y and 1, which means that we now have x divided by, so we're going to take the multiplication of -3 with -6, so that gives us 18. Then we subtract -2 times 1, so that gives us -2. This is going to be equals to y divided by, so again we perform the cross multiplication, so -2 times 1, that gives us -2, minus, then we have -6 times +1, that gives us -6. This is going to be equals to 1 divided by, so 1 multiplied to 1, so that's going to be 1, minus 1 multiplied to -3, so that is -3. So what we have is ax divided by 20 equals to y divided by 4 equals to 1 divided by 4. Now when we solve for x, the x comes out to be equals to 5 and y comes out to be equals to 1. So now what we have done here is we have obtained the coordinates of point A, so that's going to be 5, 1. Next, we'll try to find out the coordinates of point B by solving the equation for line L2 and L3. So again, we're going to use the law of series. So we'll start with the equation for line L2. We consider the coefficient of y, that is 1. Coming to the next term, we have -6. Coming back to the first term, the coefficient of x is 1, and then end up with the coefficient of y. Then for line L3, we start with the coefficient of y, that's -3. Move on to the next one, that was +2. Come back to the first term, we have 5, and then end up with the second term, that's -3. So now we can find out the value of x and y. We're going to cross multiply. So x, we have x divided by 1 times 2, that's 2, minus -3 times -6, that's going to be +18. That's going to be equals to y divided by -6 times 5, that's -30, minus 2 times 1, that's 2. That's going to be equals to 1 divided by 1 times -3, so that's -3, minus 5. So x is going to be x divided by -16 equals to y divided by -32 equals to 1 over -8, which means that the x value that's going to be equals to 2 and y is going to be 4. Right. So we have obtained the coordinates of point B, so that's going to be 2, 4. And then finally we're going to use the equation for line L1 and L3 to obtain the coordinates of point C. Now that I'm leaving as an exercise for you to try out. So coordinates of point C are going to be -1, -1. So we have the coordinates of point C that comes out to be -1, -1. Now we have obtained the coordinates of the vertices of the triangle ABC. Now what we'll do next is to find out the coordinates of the midpoints DEF. Okay, that's a very simple task. Since we'll start with D. Since D is the midpoint of the line segment BC, so coordinates of D, that is a very simple task, finding out its coordinates. So coordinates of D will be, so all we have to do is for the x coordinate, sum of the x coordinate of B and C. So we have 2 added to -1, so that's 1. We'll divide it by 2. Then to find out the y coordinate, so we're going to sum up the y coordinates of the endpoints B and C and divide by 2. So that's going to give us 3/2. So the coordinates of D comes out to be 1/2, 3/2. Similarly, we can find out the other two coordinates. Similarly, coordinates of E will be, so we have 5 added to -1, so that's 4, so it's going to give us 2. And then we have 0, 2, 0. And coordinates of F, that is going to be, coordinates of F is going to be 7/2, 5/2. Okay, so let's redraw our diagram. So now we have the coordinates of the vertices of the triangle, and we also have the coordinates of its midpoints of its sides, DEF. Let's first find out the equation of the median. We'll start by first finding out that of AD. So here what we'll do, we're going to take the help of the 2-point form of a line. So here we have y minus y1. So let's consider y1 to be this is x1, y1. And D corresponds to x2, y2, such that we have y minus y1. So y1 is going to be 1. That is going to be equals to, now we need the difference of the y coordinates. So y2 minus y1, so we'll take 3/2 minus 1 divided by the difference of the x coordinate. So we'll take half minus 5. That's going to get multiplied to x minus x1. So x1 here, that's going to be equals to 5. We get y minus 1 equals to 1/2 divided by -9/2 multiplied to x minus half. So we have y minus 1 equals to -1/9 times x minus 5. So 9y minus 9 equals to -x plus 5. Or we get x plus 9y, then this is going to be equals to 14. So that is the equation of the median AD. Next, let's try to find out the equation of the median BE. So equation of median BE. So here we're going to consider B to be x1, y1 and E to be x2, y2. Fine. So we get y minus y1. So y1 is 4 equals to, we need the difference of the y coordinates. So y2 minus y1, that's going to be 0 minus 4 divided by 2 minus 2 multiplied to x minus x1, so that's going to be 2. Now this gives us y minus 4 equals to -4/0 times x minus 2. So let's do one thing, let's cross multiply this 0 with y minus 4 such that we get 0 equals to -4 times x minus 2. Or in other words, what we get here is x minus 2 equals to 0. So this is going to be the equation of the median BE. And then finally, I'm leaving that as an exercise for you to try out. The median equation of the median CF. So that comes out to be 7x minus 9y minus 2 equals to 0. So the equation of the medians of the triangles are x plus 9y minus 14 equals to 0, 7x minus 9y minus 2 equals to 0, and x minus 2 equals to 0.